listening to the Post-apocalyptic Media Podcast, your weekly post-apocalyptic news roundup.
Hello and welcome to this week's Post-apocalyptic Media Podcast. We've got a great one for you this week. This is mid-March 2021. We're all still alive. We're breathing. We're well-fed. And we're coming at you with post-apocalyptic news, which is coming at us at a extremely fast-paced. And so that's what we're going to be giving to you. It's not coming at us as paced. But the pace is coming at us very quickly. Everybody, my name's Derek. I'm joined by Shawn.
Hello, everyone.
And Stephanie.
Hello.
The two leading writers for Post-apocalyptic Media. We've got a lot to talk about, but at the top of the show, I just want to say big congrats to Bethesda and Microsoft and everybody who owns an Xbox, because that acquisition has been approved by the overlords over in Europe. So we're going to get... I don't know what we're going to get. I don't think that the details are announced yet, but we're pretty sure we're going to get all the Fallout games on Game Pass. If you don't have Game Pass, maybe consider it. It's like $15 a month max. I think you can even get it cheaper than that if you don't want the PC games. And it's got so many post-apocalyptic games. In fact, if you want to know what great post-apocalyptic games you can play on Game Pass, go to our website, postapocalyptic.com. Just type in Game Pass. I wrote an article with like the top 10, and they're great. Fallout is on the list. That's all that's really appearing. Metro, the Metro games. Halo. Post-apocalyptic games, the primo games are on there. Microsoft they're playing for keeps, folks. They want to destroy the competition, and I'm fine with it so long as we keep getting great games out of it. So that's happening. Rust, the console edition, just announced. I guess they announced it before, but now they're saying we know when it's coming out, and it's vaguely in the summer of this year.
Yeah, they're more like before it was like we're going to do it. Now it's like we're really going to do it, but that's it.
We could learn something from that. I feel like they've known all along. Based on, we're still waiting for the new Justice League Snyder cut to come out. Apparently, some people were watching some other movie. It was like SpongeBob or something completely unrelated, and it just started playing the Snyder cut of that movie.
Wow.
Yeah, so some people have already seen it. So apparently they already have it that's ready, and they're all pretending to be working. Oh, we're working on it, but they're really, I don't know, taking vacations or something. I stayed up until 3 a.m. last night playing Call of Duty Zombies. That wasn't on purpose. I thought I could jump in and just shoot a few zombies and jump out. But what they don't tell you is that they're going to put you in a group with 3 strangers because it's a 4-player game. And then if you quit in the middle of it, you're kind of being a jerk. So I quit in the middle of it. But I waited a long time to do that.
So harsh. Those poor players, they're probably still mad right now out there. They're thinking about it.
Yeah, they're like, I knew it. I know that guy. He's the guy. Recognize that voice. So yeah, we got a little bit of a review on that. In fact, I'll give you my review on that. It's okay.
Okay.
Woo! That's exciting.
Look, it's one of those things where you probably need to research how to do it. If you just jump in, there's so much going on. They're like, go to this station to buy and upgrade your equipment. And there's this box over here. There's all these icons all over the map, and you don't know what's going on. They're like, go to this place, but you can go to all these other places all at once. And all your teammates are just scattering across the map shooting zombies. It's really chaotic. And by the end, they all had like the best weapons, and I was still with my starter weapons because I didn't.
Oh no!
He's like, okay, we're in the next section. We're gonna everybody get a minigun, and I'm like running around like, how do I get a minigun? I would have loved to have gotten a minigun with you fellas, but also like their mics weren't loud enough for me to ask questions and get real answers. So yeah, Call of Duty Zombies. I saw you wanting to say something, Shawn.
Well, that's pretty much why I don't play lobby-based games. It's I don't know. It's like your whole experience is based on the other people. Not really the game as much as the other people in your group.
Yeah, and you can get a stinker in there.
Yeah.
It reminds me of what was it, Derek? That Magic Battle Royale game we tried, where you ended up just like kicking me out as a partner because I was so bad. I mean, the only way I would survive was by hiding and just avoiding all the fights as long as possible. But that wasn't very helpful to Derek when he got into battles, and I'm just like trying to hide. So.
Yeah, that was called Spellbreak. It's a MMO, or not? It's not an MMO. It's a
it's like, what?
battle royale with spells, and you're like just wizards fighting in a MMO in a battle royale. It was actually pretty fun. But what Stephanie's leaving out of her whole story about how I kicked her out is how I offered her like the lightest criticism I've ever given another player, and she basically didn't talk to me for 2 days.
I was pretty good at hiding. I had my strategy.
So
I did that same strategy when we played Battle Royale in real life, too. I hid, and it worked pretty well.
See, that's always worked for me, too. When I was younger, we used to play paintball, and we would play it in the snow, and I would wear head-to-toe white, and I would put, like, socks over my gun and everything, and I would be, like, laying in the snow. My friends hated me for it because I would pop up and kill them. They would be running around in like red T-shirts and stuff and like in the snow. They didn't care about camouflage. I took it so seriously. I was like that guy.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah, if you really want to win your battle royale, definitely the hiding strategy is worth it. I mean, yesterday I played a round of Warzone in Call of Duty, and I hid in a house for 20 minutes. I'm not proud of it, but I did make the top 20.
There you go.
Before I got shot in the back. Okay, so that's Call of Duty Zombies. You know what I'm gonna look into next is World War Z. That's on Game Pass, and I downloaded it, and I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to compare and contrast that to Call of Duty Zombies. So tune in next week, and I'll tell you what I think of it comparatively. The Xbox game, it was pretty cool. I mean, you're using the Call of Duty weapons. The gunplay is amazing. Call of Duty's got it down, and the zombies were okay. The problem with any shooter is almost always the mechanics are a little off, and so if I'm shooting bullets at something, like those bullets I can't just shoot hundreds of bullets at something and it just like keeps coming at me. That's really weird. It doesn't make any sense according to the laws of physics. So that's kind of what happens as you get to the higher levels. You get harder bosses and your bullets just don't do anything. So that's a criticism I have. I think World War Z kind of fixes that. I think they make things harder by giving you more zombies to kill and not just like making the zombies invulnerable.
Interesting.
Other video game related news. I promise we're going to get to some TV related news, but some book related news. We've got other stuff going on, but we've got a lot of video game related news, and I know that a lot of you are into that. So here's another thing. After the Fall is a VR game that is post-apocalyptic, and it's by the makers of Arizona Sunshine. Why should you care about the makers of Arizona Sunshine? I'm glad you asked. What you need to do is you need to go to google.com and type in Arizona Sunshine. and then just watch a YouTube video of it. And you'll see why it's important, because it's a beautiful game. It's a VR game, by the way. Arizona Sunshine, it's extremely popular. I'd say it's up there with Walking Dead's VR game as far as zombie shooter VR game genre is concerned. After the fall, by the way, thanks Post-apocalyptic Soldier 888 from our Discord server for bringing this to my attention. He's in there giving us a lot of good info. You know, if you're interested in being up to date at the date, you know, not just waiting for Friday, which we appreciate you guys coming here for your news, but you can even get a bigger jump on the news by coming to our Discord, where people come in. If you see something in the news and we haven't seen it, just put it in our Discord and you put it on our radar. We put it out on the podcast. It gets big and it happens. Mm-hmm. That's how most post-apocalyptic projects need the post-apocalyptic media podcast bump. Yeah, to get over the finish line. Yep. And we love providing.
And we have a lot of people in that Discord now, like 230 or something, right? 240.
Wow,
Pretty cool.
Wow, yeah, that's incredible.
Great.
Yeah.
Among them is our guest from last week. If you haven't seen last week's episode, pull that up after this, because it was really good. And we had Mega Dude there, and he was spitting truths right and left about classic post-apocalyptic media that we all need to familiarize ourselves with. But oh yeah, so after the fall, VR game, why is it better than Arizona Sunshine, you might ask? Well, it is a 4-player co-op game at its core, says their marketing materials. You will team up with friends and take on a hostile VR world filled with ferocious undead. So they're pushing the envelope a little bit. You know, the VR has mostly been a solitary experience. You have that chat room and a few kind of experimental multiplayer games. But this is kind of taking it to a new level. It looks like it's going to be great. It's going to be on PlayStation VR, Oculus. I really hope the Oculus Quest, because that's what I got. But a lot of times when they say Oculus, what they mean is the enthusiast's Oculus, which requires a computer.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So moving on. Shout out. I just wanted to give a shout out to Wrangler Star. You know, I've been watching his videos on YouTube. If you're into homesteading, stuff like that, first of all, you need to be looking at Shawn's YouTube roundups, because he delves into that pretty frequently and shows some really cool channels that you can check out. And I may have found Wrangler Star through Shawn's roundup, now that I think of it. But he's doing something right now that I've always been interested in, and that is processing wood. Like, you cut down a tree and turn it into planks that can actually be useful in construction. You can do that without like a big sawmill. All you need is like a chainsaw and these, like, a little bit of equipment, not a lot, nothing big, something you could like carry in a small bag worth of equipment, and you can turn a huge log into planks.
Yeah, they even actually sell a rail system on Amazon that you can put a chainsaw, hook a chainsaw up to it, put a log in it, and then the chainsaw will go along that rail and cut the wood like planks, like that. And maybe, is that what he's using?
I think so.
Like a thing like that.
You screw it onto the side of the log.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it works on that rail. It's amazing. I had no clue that you could do something like that with such, paltry equipment.
Yeah.
And are you doing that, Shawn? Have you made your own boards?
No, but I am huge into that kind of stuff. Like, I love, any kind of home automation stuff. And actually, another thing I've gotten big into, speaking of chainsaws, is electric. Everything is electric now, battery-powered chainsaws. I just got one for Christmas.
Oh, cool.
And I mean, you think about it and you're like, really? Like, can that really work? But the power, it's an 80 volt, so the power of these battery-powered things are just incredible now. And what I do is I charge, little by little, I'm replacing all my tools with electric instead of gas-powered, like trimmers and stuff like that. and you can charge it all with solar. So you don't have to worry about gas. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. So I love it. I absolutely love it. So that's kind of a sidebar, but
That's
it's
extraordinary.
a cool, yeah,
All right,
I love it.
So question, have you tried charging your 80-volt battery with the solar panel setup?
Oh yeah. Yeah, because it's the battery itself, it's a big battery. Well, I got it over there, but I don't want to get up. But it's about that big. And it just fits straight into the chainsaw. And it has a regular charger. You know, it also comes out and it goes into a regular charger that plugs into the wall, and you can plug that into the solar charger itself, the solar generator. And yeah, it'll charge it.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So Wrangler Star, he's out there. He's making a lot of videos about homesteading. He's been doing it a long time. You know, probably a million followers at this point. And there's some interesting stuff. There's he showed a tour of a wind-powered sawmill, and it was a big scaled one, not like we were just discussing, but it was completely wind-powered. But you know what's even better than that is Shawn's solar-powered power tools setup, because you're going to run out of gasoline in an apocalypse. You're never going to run out of sun. However, there is another problem, and that is these batteries do not last forever.
Mm-hmm.
So there is reason to value the gas as well. What's the other option? I mean, you're going to just run out of power tools eventually, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you could go back to the old days and have two people on a big saw going back and forth, you know. And I actually love watching the bushcraft videos too, where people do everything with hand tools. That is really interesting. There's guys that have made cabins by hand, you know, with little hand tools. I mean, that's crazy to me, but I mean, that's the next step, I guess.
I'd
So
love to
interesting.
learn
I just
those skills.
Yeah.
I never really thought about, you know, these solar batteries eventually not working either. I mean, I know it's like an obvious thing, right? But I'm just always like, yeah, solar, woohoo. Yeah, not forever.
Yeah. Especially lithium is really, you know, it's touchy when it comes to high temperatures, low temperatures, extreme temperatures, you know, either way. If you decharge it basically all the way to zero, it can really ruin your battery. I mean, they're kind of touchy on some things like that, but if you take care of them, they'll last 10 years. You know.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of things don't have batteries, they just need flow of electricity, and if that's what you have, you actually do have some options for things that'll last a long, long time. Because let me give you for example, you can create a generator that basically a gas-powered generator. You can make the kind of gas that it needs to go with what's called a wood gasifier. And a wood gasifier is actually not hard to make. I did the research on that and thoroughly, and I'm confident that I could make one. And it's, you know, you basically just need to contain the wood within like a container and then apply extreme heat to the outside of the container, and gases will come out of that are highly flammable. And that's all that your gas generator needs is flammable gas. So you pump that, you purify it a little bit, you know, you basically just like run it through some tubes that go into some water where it allows the water to pull out a lot of the impurities, and that helps to extend the life of your generator. But once you have that set up, you can throw anything in there. I've seen people throwing trash into the wood gasifiers, and it just extracts flammable gas from it, and you're good to go. You're making electricity from that.
There's an episode of a reality show called The Colony, which I always have on my top 10 list, and you know, I think I had it on the top 10 TV show list. There's many different versions of shows called The Colony, but this is the reality show version. But anyway, there's an episode where they make a gasifier, a wood burning gasifier, and I forgot what I think they used it to power a car. I'm pretty sure. I think he made it in a car, but
Cool.
Oh, wow.
that was a really good, you need to check that episode out because they go through all the steps and everything. It's really cool.
That is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people out there with wood run cars, and they just load it up with some wood, and I imagine that's extremely environmentally friendly. So good on them. But I think that you can't go like a long ways with it. Probably less than 120 miles or so before you have to fill up on wood again.
Oh yeah.
But we'll move on to the next topic, which is Aliens Fire Team, which was announced this week. It's a 3-person co-op shooter, and it looks really boring to me. However, if you love the Alien lore, it sounds like it has a lot to offer as far as that goes. Like, you'll see stuff, and you'll recognize it, and it'll kind of fit in with the world really well. So they took special care for that. They also took special care to make sure that the class system makes sense. So it's not just like you and 2 other friends jump in and are just shooting the whole time. You have like different roles that apply to different situations. So it feels like you're part of a team. Moving on, we have a calendar on our website that you want to subscribe to. You can add it to your Google Calendar automatically, or you can just come to our website and check it out and see what's coming up. I just today added 3 movies that are releasing this in the next 2 months, and they're all on the calendar. So if you want to keep up with the newest stuff, just go to our calendar, add that. I was going to introduce a new segment today called Derek Says Something Controversial. And I think I'm going to say something controversial throughout this episode anyways, because that's just what I do. But I'm going to skip it for now. But tune in. Tune in. Any day I could just go off and say something that'll get me in trouble.
I can't wait for that segment. We should have like an intro, special intro for it. Derek says something controversial. Da, da, da. I don't know. Can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I'm sure that the YouTube censors will find it and bring a lot of attention to it anyways. So
Yeah, it's true.
I need to make like a fake Twitter persona that is really critical of me, and then just like amplify that.
Great idea. Brilliance.
All right, so the moment you've all been waiting for is when we talk about the popular television shows that are going on right now. Right now, Walking Dead is releasing new episodes. Right now, Snowpiercer is releasing new episodes. Pacific Rim just released an anime on Netflix. We're going to talk about these things. We're not going to talk about Pacific Rim anime because none of us have seen it yet.
But we are watching Attack on Titan anime. As you know, because I talk about it every week at some point, somehow, because it's so great.
We are indeed. And on that note, last week we said something and it was kind of fake news. And I just want to put the real truth out there because I don't want to be fake news. We said like Attack on Titan is the most watched TV show in America. That's not technically something that we know.
Oh.
What it is Parrot Analytics released a report of the most in-demand shows in America.
Oh, okay.
So what's that mean? I don't know. I don't know what that means. But what I do know is that they released a new report, and the new report says the same thing as the old report. Attack on Titan is still the most in-demand show in America, barely edging out SpongeBob SquarePants.
Really?
For the 3rd week in a row.
Sorry, SpongeBob fans.
You shouldn't be watching this show, SpongeBob fans.
That's true.
So take from that what you will. The most in-demand show. I mean, that is something. That sounds important.
Yeah.
That's huge, right? I think so.
So
really,
yeah,
like Game of Thrones had that title.
This is anime. This is the era of anime right now because we've got that Pacific Rim. By the way, Tina is writing about Pacific Rim for Post-apocalyptic.
Mm-hmm.
and she's already written one article, and she's planning on writing several more. So if you watch Pacific Rim, come check out her writing about it. Or if you're thinking about it, I think she wrote an article saying whether you should even consider it. So that's going on. Terminator has announced an anime. Shawn wrote about that. Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, yeah, I did. I agree.
Remember that. Terminator, is that going to be on Netflix?
I'm not sure. Let me check. Let me check the postapocalyptic.com site.
Oh, that's a good resource.
That is. Well, definitely.
Oh, yeah, it is coming to Netflix. Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, nice.
Wow. Yeah, go ahead and bookmark Post-apocalyptic while you're there, because then it'll be easier to get to next time.
I already had it up. I was just on a different post.
He's
and
checking
by
his DMs.
I want to just throw this out there to our listeners. If you have any suggestions for other post-apocalyptic themed animes that you think I would enjoy, considering how much I love Attack on Titan, please feel free to drop by our Discord and share your suggestions. Would love to hear some suggestions, especially if there's anything that's like releasing new episodes even, now or in the next year or so. But even ones that aren't. Once Attack on Titan ends, I'm going to be very sad. And very, very sad. So if you have any suggestions, I would appreciate hearing them.
Steph,
there is...
Go ahead.
There is another one that I did write about this week. That is a light novel series called... I'm going to totally butcher this, but it's Sabikoi Bisco, something like that. It basically means rust eater mushroom.
Okay.
It means rust eater mushroom, I think, or whatever. But it's a series of light novels, and light novels are kind of like Japan's young adult novels. It's like their version of that. And it's a super, super popular series of these novels that came out in... Well, they're still writing them, but I think 2018 is when they started. And they're going to make an anime series about that. Oh. And it was just announced on Saturday, I think. So
that's exciting.
Yeah. It looks like a cool show. Or it will be. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
All over that.
Yeah, I probably won't be reading those novels, but I'll definitely be watching that show. Rust Eater Mushroom.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty fascinating story. It's about... basically Japan is arid, there's no more water and all this stuff, and there's this spore that turns everything to rust. Buildings, everything turns to rust. And it's in the future, and definitely post-apocalyptic. And then they have to find this special mushroom. There's like this whole community of mushrooms, and one of them they have to find it because it has to eat the rust before the rust takes over everything. So that's a very, very concise explanation. It goes further than that, but it looks really cool.
That sounds interesting. I wonder if they're like, I don't know, every now and then I find like mushrooms or spores that like, they look like they're all desiccated and they're brown and kind of rust colored. And if you touch them, they just are like,
oh yeah. Yeah.
And they look like rust. I wonder if something like that was like the inspiration, because they're always kind of creepy.
Might be.
Yeah, it's and that's an interesting plot, because we know that mushrooms are actually a large part of the ecosystem in the world, much larger than I had ever imagined. Lately, I've learned about the mycelial, which I guess is a mushroom-ish. The part of the mushroom is like growing under the ground everywhere, and it's a very key part of the nutrients that plants have and the ecosystem. So the idea that a mushroom could save us from an ecological apocalypse makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It does.
That is interesting. It kind of sounds a little bit like the third season of Last Ship, but we won't go into spoilers here. Except for that major spoiler I just dropped. Okay, so we've got the Terminator anime coming out. Raya and the Last Dragon. You wrote about that. That's not an anime though, right? That's a cartoon.
No, it's just Yeah, it's just a Disney animated movie, and I'm really sad about it. I wanted to watch it, but it's $30 in addition to Disney Plus. So if you first you have to have Disney Plus, which is whatever, $10 a month, whatever it is, and then also you have to pay $30. And I guess they're introducing this new premium, this Disney Plus premium. And this is like the first installment on that. So once you watch this show, when you buy this movie, it kind of signs you up for Disney Plus Premium, which is a second tier thing that they plan to use to release Disney movies from now on.
Interesting.
Instead of going to the theater. Well, I think they're in the theater and at home. So it's kind of like their way of taking advantage of video on demand. But that movie will be included on regular Disney Plus in June 4th, I think it is. So if you want to wait, you could wait a little while and then you can watch it on regular Disney Plus. And that's what I'm doing because I'm not paying $30.
Yeah, that price point is really bold.
Yeah.
I mean, we used to go to the theater for $12 max.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I mean it's one of those things where their argument is, well, you go to the theater and you buy popcorn and this and this and this, and it ends up being a $50 thing. Well, sure, but do I get popcorn included with that? And like, do I get a giant screen with the amazing sound system with that? No, you don't get all that stuff. You still have your screen.
That's so true.
It shouldn't be. I think 30 is too much.
Popcorn, which isn't the same. I miss movie theater popcorn. That's one of the casualties of the pandemic that I miss is endless bowls of popcorn, and typically I could never even eat more than one, but whatever, just the fact that I had that option made me happy. I miss it.
Yeah.
The moments of silence for movie theater popcorn. No, just kidding.
There's
a lot greater casualties of the pandemic, like 500,000 people who died, which is horrible. My gosh, don't even get me started. It will be like Stephanie says, controversial things.
How many people died? 500,000 in the U.S., right?
In the U.S. Yeah, it's awful. It's just...
But we have fewer people dying from the flu, correct?
Yes. Our social distancing and masks and everything have really, really helped reduce the spread of the flu to make it almost nil this last season. And I heard some theories too that I talked about. I feel like I may have said this on a previous podcast, but maybe not. But I heard some theories too that talked about how the flu starts in like one country and then kind of travels, and the fact that we're not traveling by plane as much, or weren't during flu season, really made a big difference as far as the flu traveling around. It's fascinating. Like, I'd love to research that more and try to figure out, dig into that, because the flu's been like practically nothing.
Yeah, but flu wasn't killing 500,000 people in the U.S. every year, right?
Gosh, definitely.
It's a small...
Definitely not.
Consolation.
Yeah, yeah, it is a small. I'm looking up because I have this article I update for a different for Heavy every week, every day practically, that has the count of deaths in the U.S. It's at 535,005 right now. Sad.
Stephanie's funny because journalism's her full-time career, and she writes about three things outside of the post-apocalyptic world. She writes about a lot more than three things, but mainly. she's writing about COVID, and she's writing about cats.
Yes.
And Hallmark movies.
And Hallmark. Which makes for a very strange Sunday because every Sunday lately I watch Attack on Titan, and freaking amazing, as you know.
Super dark.
And then I end the day with a Hallmark TV series and write about that for my job, and it is like complete opposite end of the spectrum. So it's roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah, one character died in the Hallmark TV series, and the fan base was up in arms about it.
Oh, it was
huge controversy.
It was a while back, and yeah, it was so tough.
Okay, so we took a little bit of a detour to talk about the animes.
That's what we do.
That's what we do, and y'all enjoy it. So I hope.
Snowpiercer.
Snowpiercer.
All right,
Woo!
I'm gonna let you guys kind of take control of the conversation here, but I just want to reiterate how not on Wilford's side I am anymore.
Man, you're gonna regret it. Like, someone's gonna listen to that episode of the podcast, and they will have watched Snowpiercer now, and they'll be like, "Really, Derek? Really?
You monster."
But let me say, now, did you see the latest episode?
Yes.
Are spoilers okay?
Spoil away. Sorry, everybody.
Okay.
This is
So,
the end of the episode.
At the very end of the latest episode, you can see that all of Snowpiercer is for Wilford.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's like, and when I saw that, I said, "Oh, maybe Derek's onto something, or was onto something."
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
I don't
dang.
know.
Oh my gosh! Well, he murdered all of those brakemen. Oh, that's harsh.
It's like they all have Stockholm Syndrome or something. I don't know what's going on.
I was
Man, the
mentioning
grass is
Stockholm
always-
Syndrome to Derek, like, as seriously as, like, it really sounds like that in some of those cases. And Stockholm Syndrome is just such a crazy topic in general, but it does sound like that's might be part of it, at least of what's going on.
All right, real quickly, Shawn, what is Stockholm Syndrome?
It's basically when you're in a bad situation, you're stuck. Like, this happens to people who are prisoners of war, where they kind of turn to the side of their captors, and they say, well, they start to see their side of things, and they start to kind of empathize with them. And I feel like, Audrey is kind of like a personification of that, where she, after all the abuse she faced from Wilford, now she's all of a sudden is like, I mean, I keep waiting for, she's on his side, it seems like, but I keep waiting for her to be like, psych, I really just wanted to stab you in the back or something.
Right.
But she's just getting closer and closer to him, and she's like doing his bidding, and it's like, what's going on with her? I don't know.
Right. I'm so torn on that too. I'm like 50-50 on whether she's really just getting super close and doing things that kind of disgust her, so that she can be close enough to inflict extreme damage.
Yeah.
Versus she's gone back over to the other side.
Yeah, I think that Stockholm Syndrome is the key here. I think that that's what this is all about. At first I thought it was about trust, and he thought, anybody who can kill themselves for me, clearly I can trust that person. But I don't think that's it, because of the way he had that guy interrogated and, brainwashed essentially in that chair. I think that kind of hints to us that maybe Audrey's done this before, that this is maybe her job for Wilford is to assist with the instilling of Stockholm Syndrome. And the thing about Stockholm Syndrome is it's not logical. Like, if you can logically come to, if you're a prisoner, you want to please your captors so that they don't hurt you or kill you or whatever. But once you're free of those captors, you shouldn't be like that anymore. But Stockholm Syndrome is when, like, somebody gets completely free. They have nothing but their own personal will involved, and they still love and identify with the people that abuse them. And so that does bring up Audrey. Like, she seems to be in a place of kind of authority here, where she could get away from Wilford possibly. She could be undermining him. Does she have Stockholm Syndrome? Has she overcome it? Or is she actually suffering from it? We don't know at this point. But it has become pretty clear, especially when she made the dude lick Wilford's shoe. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, man.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, yes, there's the priest guy. Nobody guessed. I didn't guess that he was going to be a Wilford sympathizer. And he's like, he gives order. He brings order. And it's like, yeah, but do you see what it looks like over there? Like, nobody matters but Wilford. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, like, if that if you see the chaos that's going on Snowpiercer as ultimately ending up in the extinction of man, then maybe it is better to have a narcissist in charge who at least is able to continue society until, for several generations, presumably. Of course, I don't know. I don't think that a narcissist really gives you those results. I think that in the end, he'll just milk it dry and leave them with nothing.
Yep, I agree.
But yeah, what a hardcore episode. And I think the people of Snowpiercer seem to have spoken. I mean, I wasn't counting red dots compared to unilluminated cars,
right?
But it's enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was just overwhelming. I mean, it was that whole scene was so well done, and it was so well kind of choreographed, where they're going down this spiral, so you can see the entire train. It's not, it's like the writers said, how are we going to show that everyone is in support without showing this long 1,000-car train? Well, let's go down this spiral so that you can see all the cars going down, and it's just, I mean, it was like 3/4 of them were probably red lights in the windows.
So that was a beautiful scene. I loved that. I love that concept. And I guess we're presuming that we still haven't caught up to the previous episode.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, because the previous one,
right.
Well, at the end of it, we see the train just fly by. It's supposed to pick up Melanie, and it flies by Melanie, and she's looking in the window like, what the hell? And her daughter, Alex, is screaming for her, like, kind of like she didn't know. I take it as she didn't know that the train wasn't going to stop, and she's surprised. And she sees her mom out there, and she knows she's not going to make it. But it seems like in this episode, we went back a little bit to kind of cover some stuff. We're not up to that point yet where they're going to abandon Melanie. So
yeah.
But we have, 3 episodes left? Or
is that it?
I'm not sure.
Is it 10 episodes total? Yeah, I think so. So we have...
I'm sad now.
3 episodes.
Why is everything ending? My favorite shows. Oh.
All right. Well, then, how about predictions? How is this season going to end? What'll be the situation?
You heard my prediction, Derek. My prediction is that Wilford is going to control everything by the end and resubjugate all the people who don't follow him. And so we're going to be left with this really dark ending where they're going to have to fight for their freedom again. That's my theory.
I think that's a good theory because we know that there's going to be another season, and they still have a whole lot, another 10 episodes to kind of get themselves out of that hole. And you can't end it on a high note when you're on season 2 and there's another season coming. So I think you're right. I think they're going to be down. Just it's going to be a desperate time, and Wilford's going to look like the victor. But hopefully throughout season 3 they pull themselves back up and make it off the train. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm predicting.
Good prediction.
I like that.
I concur.
And if they do end season 3 like that, it opens up all sorts of post-apocalyptic survival show for us outside the train.
Yeah, or spin-offs. That'd be cool.
One where they're on the train and one where they're creating their new society on land. Yeah. Because I bet you'd have some people who'd want to stay on the train, right? I mean, they wouldn't want to be roughing it.
Wilford. By himself.
Wilford by himself. Aw.
Love it. Okay, so no, I concur. I think that's a good theory. I like the idea of season 3 being all of these characters we've come to know all of a sudden being without the power that we've seen them wield, and them having to become the secret agents on the train trying to undermine Wilford. I keep wondering, when's the redheaded girl, when's she going to come into play? I feel like she's really ruthless.
Yeah, she is.
And she owes Melanie, but is she going to pay Melanie back? I don't know.
She also really likes Wilford, so and then
She
I
seems
don't know.
she seems very similar to like they would get along, right? They're very elitist.
But she and Wilford's, I mean, is her name Alex? Wilford's semi-daughter, Melanie's daughter. Is it Alex?
Yeah.
Is that her name?
Yeah, Alex. Yeah.
I mean, she and Alex have this friendship too. So, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know what she's gonna deem is most valuable to her.
Yeah, that was a strange episode where they showed those two hanging out because it was like, what do the writers have in store for those two? So I don't know.
I wonder.
Scares me. Just like poor
Yeah.
Alex doesn't know what a freak that she's with.
That's
you know,
true.
Could kill her. Yeah, Alex has been an interesting character. She has evolved so quickly, you know, from growing up with Wilford, completely brainwashed by him, essentially, and now we know that he does brainwashing as a matter of course, and he hates Melanie, and Melanie took everything from him. So I didn't expect Alex to be able to break free like she did, but she is a smart girl. She's Melanie's daughter, and she's already essentially become a Melanie supporter. So I think Alex will be instrumental in taking down Wilford in the end, and it'll probably all kind of the match that strikes the tinder is going to be when Wilford tries to leave Melanie behind. I don't think the show's just going to let Melanie freeze out there or starve to death. No. So yeah, I think she makes it back on the train, but in the case that either way, that kind of thing is not going to fly with Alex.
Yeah. And I just want to say that I'm very impressed with the actress who plays Alex. I don't have her name right in front of me, but I just feel like she does such a great job. You know, like the expressions on her face and everything, just the way her eyes even just express what she's feeling. I just feel like she's doing a phenomenal job. Yeah,
for a young actress especially, yeah.
Moving to The Walking Dead, which is airing right now. If you want to pay extra, you can get AMC Premiere, right?
AMC Plus.
Okay, Plus. Let's just everybody do Plus.
Yeah, everyone.
That would make life so much easier, right?
And you can get it 3 days early, I think, is what they're offering. So that's an option for you. If not, it's airing on TV and with commercials, I think. So anyways, Walking Dead, this last episode was great. I really liked it, and I just want to say, like, I got to where I didn't want to see Daryl on screen for a long time. Like, he just was all grunts and anger, and it was just all loyalty to Rick, and he just basically became this one-dimensional guy that I don't think it was that way in the early seasons.
No, it wasn't. They really started... The director or producer for a while really started downplaying his character big time for a number of seasons.
They didn't even want him as an actual character at first. He was just going to be some redneck that they were going to have on for a little while. And then this is a famous story, I guess, that he just won over the audience, and they started writing actual dialogue for him and stuff. So, and I mentioned this before, my wife and I just started over on Walking Dead, and we started watching, and when you watch those early episodes of him, you're like, yeah, you can tell he was just like a firecracker, and they had no plans for him, and then he just became, and it's so funny to watch him now, him and Carol both, they're just such deep characters now, and especially this episode. Yeah.
The following contains The Walking Dead spoilers, so listen at your own risk.
Yeah. In this last episode, Daryl has a lot of progress as a character. He essentially finds his true love and ends it with someone that he had been kind of on and off again for a long time, and it was harsh. It felt very real, and it was just such a well done episode to me. And it really helps me to get into these characters that we're getting that kind of an episode. I think Walking Dead maybe was kind of losing a lot of that. Maybe it was just trying to pull too many storylines together all at once.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that focus in on that character for this episode really did well, and it makes me more excited to look forward to this next episode.
Yeah, I think it's funny that people on Twitter, the takeaway from this episode that I saw was people said, "Oh, Daryl got laid," and that was it. Like that's.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's like that was the social media take from the episode. I'm like, oh,
wow.
Okay. It was their last square on Walking Dead bingo or something.
Yeah, exactly.
I also enjoyed seeing how his relationship with Dog evolved and how it started. That was nice too. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that was very cool.
Dog is a puppy.
Yeah. So do you think that I forgot her name, but that girl that he had the relationship with, do you think she's gonna like come back and be some kind of integral part of the storyline?
I have no idea.
Man,
I feel like she is. I don't know.
I
feel
hope
like
she does.
Why would they have introduced her, and just to throw her away after half an episode? I think they'll definitely bring her back.
I hope they do.
Yeah, she, one critique I have from the episode is she gets very upset with Daryl leaving for a couple days. And they just showed us like her living alone for like 9 months, while she barely even gave a damn about Daryl. Yeah. So it was it was kind of jarring that she would be so upset, so independent, and then so interdependent.
Right.
Within such a short period of time.
When she made that comment when he said he was going to leave, and she's like, "Oh, fine. Oh, you're going to leave me, fine." I said to my wife, "Did they get married at some point before this? Did I miss them getting married?"
Right? Yeah, it was a little surprising. It's like, wait, what? There's a scene cut in here?
Yeah.
We have another flashback next week where we see them get married? I don't know.
So, to a quick review, if you're watching post-apocalyptic TV right now, you've got Walking Dead, Snowpiercer, Attack on Titan, Pacific Rim. Anything else popping out? Oh, Tribes of Europa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's other things I missed. So I hope that you flame me in the comment section. Let me know what I'm missing. You know what? If it's really harsh, it'll probably stick with me more, and I'll bring it up next week. So yeah, also suggest some really dark animes for Steph, because clearly that's what she's into.
I love them, especially if they're post-apocalyptic. But yes, it's they dark, but they have like this philosophical bent. I mean, I can't even say enough about this show. Cannot. It's amazing.
If you'd like Shawn to do a wood gasifier conversion for his next car build,
yes,
let us know.
Actually, I do have a surprise that I'm working on, a real-life post-apocalyptic thing that I'm working on.
What?
I plan to write an article about it, and maybe that's all I should say.
Oh my gosh. This is exciting.
Heard it here first.
What?
All right.
I can't wait.
That is a good place for us to stop this week. I want to thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate you. And we just want to let you know that you are welcome to our Discord channel to come chat, discuss things. We are releasing this podcast every Friday, so make sure you add us to your subscriptions and look at that so you can be caught up on what's going on in the post-apocalyptic world. We appreciate the people in our Discord bringing topics. Half of the topics today were from people in the Discord letting me know what's going on in this world. So we are going in future weeks. I think we're going to be getting some Kickstarter post-apocalyptic board games and card games. We'll be discussing that. Shawn is sometimes streaming on Saturdays on our Twitch channel, Post-Apocalyptic Games. You want to see some gameplay, just hang out with Shawn, go over there. And of course, we have our website, postapocalypticmedia.com. All of the latest news and games and movies and books and all these things. We're talking about it, writing about it. We've got reviews for The Expanse, reviews for The Stand, and reviews now for several new things that are coming out. I can't even list them all.
Snowpiercer.
Woohoo!
Watch Snowpiercer. If you haven't caught up on Snowpiercer, man, I don't know what to tell you. But get on it. Mm-hmm. Well, you've been spoiled anyways if you've listened to this part.
Yeah.
So
I'm caught up now.
Just start with the next episode. All right, you guys, I appreciate you all. Y'all stay safe out there, and as always, be ready for the big one. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
See ya.